Hey, I'm Stress here, joined by POWEROFEVIL. First of all, I want to say thank you for joining us after what is a difficult loss. The first thing I want to talk about, Power, is MISFITS have been very successful this split, but there have been now two teams that have taken you down. First of all, G2 and now H2K. When you guys go back this week, how does the MISFITS organization and structure handle a loss like this?
Well, so first of all, we obviously wanted to go into the series and win it. So I think it was since G2, I think our the hardest beating we took. So I think we have a lot to learn from these games, and I think we are going to rewatch these games individually and as a team, and I think we can learn a lot from.
There's a lot that the MISFITS have talked about mentality. Does that kind of come from the players, or is that more the support staff? Like, how come MISFITS have such a good mentality right now?
I think everyone in the team, every player has really, really good mentality and really good attitude and kind of just like work ethic. So I think even though we took a hard beating today, I think we're going to recover, and just next week is going to be a new week and new games. So I think we're going to be good.
It certainly will be, and I think that puts fear in Group A if you guys are going to bounce back and recover. I do want to talk a little bit about the two games. In Game 1, you played the Ahri, an assassin that normally needs to snowball. Perks was asking a little bit on the desk about the Abyssal, the Zhonya's build that you went against tanks. Do you mind elaborating a little bit on the decision-making for your Ahri build?
Well, so I wanted to go Abyssal since side lane. With Abyssal against Marauders, I'm going to win really hard. And we have the Shen ultimate, so we should win the split push. But I think FEBIVEN played really good around not actually going on the side lane and more grouping of mid lane. So I can't really punish him, so I always need to run mid lane, get priority as a team. He just runs top, out pushes, and it's just all the time like stopping the lanes. So we can't really use the Shen Ahri combination. But I think we had the lead and we could actually snowball the game. We kind of threw on bot lane with the plays since I couldn't join and I was on top lane stuck. So that was just like a really, really huge gamble we took, and it was not paying out. So I think first game we pretty much just threw.
And then Game 2, leaving the LeBlanc open. There's a lot that plays into that decision. Would you mind giving us a little bit of your thoughts playing the Rise into it specifically?
Well, so we had huge success actually playing versus LeBlanc, and we knew that there's going to be probably early ganks mid lane, especially in the LeBlanc matchup against Rise or LeBlanc against Ahri, whatever we took. But we actually didn't think about level 2. Like he actually started our red buff, so we didn't really think about that one, and it was just really surprising since I think in both games JANKOS took jungle pathings we didn't actually knew about. So it was 2 times really new for us, so we could learn a lot, and we went I think a little bit too greedy in our draft. We took scaling mid lane, scaling top lane, scaling AD carry. So we should have not. Yeah, obviously we just lost the draft by going way too greedy.
I think the greedy play, though, for MISFITS has worked out in previous weeks, right? You guys have had a lot of success up until this point. As we said, only 2 teams now own a winning record over you. I want to talk a little bit about MISFITS being in second spot, G2 with the team above you. What do MISFITS need to do in your mind, one thing, to actually start competing against G2 the next time you play next week?
Well, so I think we need to, first of all, in second game, I think we just need to fix our draft. So I think the second game was a lot just coming out by draft, and the first game, obviously, as I said before, I think we threw, so I think it was equally gold. Obviously, you can't tell since I don't have the outsider perspective, but it felt actually good in game, but we kind of just gave it out of the hands. So we need to stop these risky gambling plays and probably just improve our early game a little bit better. So you could see a huge difference between our last week series we had, where we always got this early lead and could snowball it and translate it to mid and late game. And today we really got just rolled over in the early game, and we always needed to play from behind.
I know it's been a difficult day for you, Tristan. We're going to let you head back to your team, but thank you very much for joining us. We're loving seeing MISFITS in the LCS and the success that you guys are having. Looking forward to that matchup against G2 next week. But for now, we're going to head over to the post-game lobby.
Thank you so much for that interview as well, Stress and POWEROFEVIL. And welcome to the post-game lobby. We have Crepo, we have Perks, and we have JANKOS. And we got to start with you, JANKOS. Congratulations, 2-0. How happy are you with your series?
To be honest, I think that the games were way easier than we were expecting. I do believe that we... No way, bro. Look, we prepared for those games. We had 1 week of scrims. We took them very seriously this time, and I think it paid off. I also think that they were making a lot of mistakes in the early game, and they didn't punish as well in the comp where they had to snowball the early game. So they made a lot of mistakes that we were doing in 2016. So we could see them in game, we could abuse them, and we were really calm doing so.
I don't think you were flaming, but I think generally we expected, I think we all expected a closer series, 3 games, or Misfits to put up more of a fight. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think the problem is with Misfits, if you draft a composition game 2, it has to scale that much against a team like H2K who's going full on in the early game. That in itself is very risky, and I think is almost disrespectful.
I think Jankos has something to say about people who draft like that.
And then if you make a crucial mistake and you get invaded by the first blood king and you lose your Raptors and red buff, then it's really hard.
Let's look at that early game because you did start. You wanted to teach KAKAO a lesson, is what it looked like, Jankos. This is actually the first kill.
To be honest, this is something that it's part of people's mistakes. I mean, I think I respect him, so I'm not going to say that he is dumb. But this is a rookie mistake, you know? Yeah. Like level 2 die from the jungler, you shouldn't die like this. So I think overall...
Especially when he knew where he was.
Yeah, like the thing is KAKAO saw me on red buff, or he didn't see me, but they could have expected it. And it's very likely that Lee Sin will gank with LeBlanc, you know, especially if LeBlanc doesn't have Q. And then, as we could see, we dived top lane a lot, simply because Rumble has pressure over Nautilus. Ivern cannot really punish Lee Sin, especially after that start. So going top lane was the most optimal play.
And also just speaking Nautilus into Rumble is really just like disrespectful.
I mean, you kind of farm well and then you outscale him, but this is the risk, you know? You pick Ivern and Nautilus in the same team.
The Rumble like pushes in all the time and will go at least 20 CS up and he'll have pressure and can move anywhere. So I think it's
okay, so you are too good, or what?
Yeah.
Okay, you would win, yeah?
Yeah, I would win with Rumble, for sure.
Guys, if you look at the mid lane play and you say, you know, this is a mistake from POWEROFEVIL, is it not more so a communication mistake of Misfits? Or, Perks, when you're in a game, are you expected to see that? Or do you expect Trick, for example, your jungler, to tell you that this jungler could be arriving? Same for afterwards Jankos, maybe?
I mean, I usually see this kind of stuff, but Trick always calls everything. So he's like, I'm going mid, and I'm like, okay, I can't die then.
Jankos, you're not as perfect as a player who sees everything like Perks. Do you need help from your teammates there?
I mean, I don't want to talk about scrims, but in scrims, Perks dies to level 2 gank like almost every game. So I don't know if you can say, I see it every time, bro.
If you want scrim elo, then you can just gank me, you know?
Oh, yeah. But overall, yeah, I think KAKAO should communicate that I could either level 3 gank top lane after cracks, either I will go mid lane level 2, especially like Perks said, you know, LeBlanc took E, so there's no real counterplay. And this is pretty much the only chance we have in this matchup, you know, because afterwards, Ryze will outscale, he will pressure the lane, he will base for tier. So we abused the mistake, but the mistake shouldn't happen in the first place.
Yeah, just to illustrate how far you guys were ahead, you dealt Misfits their largest goal deficit at 10, 15, and 20 minutes this split. So I think that must have hurt.
Wow.
Did you want to ask another question? You've took the play-by-play. You want to be the host?
Nope,
Is there anything else you want to do?
I'm just going to sit here and
just kidding.
Host.
Just kidding. I wanted to ask you about how did it feel? How was it?
When we got the news that Dracos was sick, we kind of came up with a fun plan of doing the Fisher Crepo cast. I think it went okay.
Do you have a newfound respect for play-by-play casters?
Oh, definitely have a new... I always respect the play-by-plays. You know, I love them. But it's definitely hard to, especially when production's talking in your ear and feeding you stat lines or telling you, like, do you want to do post-game lobby while trying to figure out what's going on in the game?
You mean you don't do everything by yourself?
No, definitely not. And then having Martin troll me in a cast it's a bit like what Perks is doing to Jankos, but a little harder while you're on air. So definitely hard.
Were the games slower than you expected?
I think game 1 was slow, but it was fun because at least I feel game 1 you guys were always fighting over something, like whether it was some vision or cross mapping.
Wait, Crepo. Are you trying to tell me that H2K didn't do that many mistakes in mid and late game? Oh my God.
We actually had a tweet from a famous Polish jungler that said exactly we have 1 month before playoffs and now we have to focus on our mid to late game, and I have to say, Jankos, congratulations, you guys definitely improved.
Triple congratulations. Improved player of the game, Jankos, and you locked in your spot in playoffs. Wow. Woo!
Yeah, but the thing is, match against Misfits doesn't matter because we want to end first in our group and we have to win against UL to do so. So even if we would lose today, and you know next week we play UL and we would win again UL, it's
you will
like
have to play the matchup properly to win that game.
Yeah. It's going to be way harder against UL because I think they focus on early game way more, but they are still. I think as the season goes, and they start really strong. They always like go down and down because it seems like they try to play the smart game right now, and they are known for being like really aggressive and taking every fight, which they are not doing right now after IM for some reason.
This will most likely be on 7.5 though. Have you guys had any experience in solo queue with the patch?
Not really, because the same champs I've been playing in scrims, I've been playing in solo queue, so I didn't want to like try actually new stuff with new masteries or champs or whatever. So I don't know if it's same for Jankos, but
Because with the exhaust ignite changes, some champion nerfs here and there, like this could actually favor the unicorns in a more aggressive setting.
I think Rise is nerfed, so that really does not favor the unicorns, but some other stuff maybe, yeah, they're good at like discovering new things. So.
Yeah, I mean, Rengar is nerfed and Rise is nerfed. And I was inting it on Rengar, and on IM. I was like totally not good.
You were learning.
I was learning, yes. And then, you know, Exile, he's big fan of Rise, you know. So Rise is nerfed as well now.
Yeah, it's his best buddy, I think.
Yeah, I think 7.5 is in our favor, a little bit more than 7.4. Okay. I'm glad.
Oh, well, yeah, that would mean really good things for you guys because you seem to have fixed up some of the mid and late game things as you alluded to. But
Well,
I think
I wouldn't go that far. We can still, you know.
I'm just repeating what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not
just
good.
because we won 1 PO3 doesn't mean that we are actually good now, you know. We will still make...
This is the analyst desk. We overreact, we overgeneralize, and
We always results-based analysis. That's all we do. If you look at H2K, very often we, from the colorcaster sides, we talk about like how your mid to late game is bad because of some greed and because of like maybe the communication, everybody's shouting and nobody kind of changes the call mid-play.
no.
Like if everyone, no, I think multiple people are very loud in H2K. When you go for a Baron, like to turn around, is that what's blocking the mid to late game, or what are some of the issues that H2K is or was potentially struggling with?
Okay, for example, communication of Flash Wolves, when we were screaming against them and we were sitting pretty much in the same room on IM, they were screaming like animals. Like, I mean, as of really loud and like everyone could hear them in the room, you know? But no one could understand them, so that was unlucky. But the point is, I think, yes, we need to be more calm in mid-game, more collective, and we can't really force plays too often, you know? Like last year, we had this issue where we had Forgiven, Vander, and Ryu, and in mid-game, we would like mental
Only go
block or-
forward.
Yeah, only go forward, and we
was not
couldn't
going
really
backwards.
like, hey guys, maybe we should pick Ezreal and scale a bit. And, you know, if they die, we bought 3 times, it's fine. But because, you know, it wouldn't be fine. Yes, exactly, Caitlyn login.
all right. moving on.
But the point is that, yeah, I mean, basically, right now we are more collective, more calm. We go for like the slow plays. We pick like, we play around comp. Our team fights are still a little bit of a struggle, but they are getting better. So I'm happy with the results so far.
Perks, were you even allowed to scrim the Flash Wolves?
Yeah, we actually scrimmed them 2 or 3 games.
My burn just failed. It's very hard. Like, it's all good. Yeah, no, it was me.